I grew up in a strong Catholic family. Since I was a child myself, I wanted to have children. That desire was always really strong. And so I didn't really discern my vocation. It kind of was a given. It felt like one anyway, that I would be called to marriage. I only saw the faith really fully practiced at home with my friends and even my friends' parents. I saw them pick and choose what they wanted to practice of the faith, and that was just really confusing for me at that time in my life. Over time, I believed more and more that lie, that it's not possible, it's not realistic to practice the faith fully, and that was playing out in my actions and my decisions, where over time, you really couldn't tell a huge difference between the way I was living and the way someone was living who had minimal faith. And this also played out in my dating relationships as well, until I reached a point where I had been experiencing such emotional pain for so long that I hit a rock bottom. And at that point, when I hit the rock bottom, I finally reached a point where I was able to release that stronghold that I had on the desire to have children. With that, I went to confession, and God's mercy, His life, just rushed into my heart in a way that I had never experienced before, and I felt such peace. In the time after my conversion, I was just so drawn to the Lord, and my heart was just more and more wanting that closeness with Him. And I started going to daily Mass and to adoration, which I had never known about adoration before that. And I started praying the Rosary every day. I had felt about Jesus in that time, just He took my heart in a way that no man had ever taken it before. In prayer, thoughts of religious life entered my mind more and more in this time. As the desire grew stronger, I started visiting religious communities. And in that time of experiencing doors opening and closing, it was adding to my relationship with Jesus, in that I was sharing with Him just all the joy in it, all the hopes, all the sorrows, all of the discouragement. What was new for me at that time was I was at a point where I was begging God to allow only what He wanted for my life, whether He wanted religious life or not. I really felt so deeply, I want You and I love You, and I only want what You want from me, and if You don't want it, then I don't want it either. I met our community after a conversation with a priest in my home parish. The priest had known our sisters for a number of years, and I remember just his words still ring in my mind. You have to meet the School Sisters of Christ the King. I contacted our sisters a matter of hours after I had that conversation with him. And from there, everything just flowed so quickly, so smoothly. The Lord was just breaking down barriers inside of me and exterior barriers between me and religious life. Just miraculous things happened, paying off student loans that were pretty hefty. Major things happening on Marian feast days when I was praying to her for clarity on my vocation and for her help in leading me wherever Jesus wanted me to be. Later, I made vows during the year of mercy, which is, again, only the providence of God that He would set up timing like that. Last year, when I prepared students for confirmation to receive the sacrament of confirmation for the first time, it was the most beautiful and profound and overwhelming experience that I've had of the spiritual motherhood that is given to a religious sister. Jesus was so present during the Mass. He was so present as spouse, and the children were so clearly our children, and we were bringing them to the Father. It was such an amazing feeling that I'll never forget that feeling. It's amazing what Jesus does when we hand over our desires to Him, when we let Him truly reign. He's done amazing things in my life. Blessed be God forever.